If you're struggling with toes to bar, here's a handful of progressions that will really help you to improve. If you can't do one of them, you need to focus on building that strength before you move on. So let's get into it. The first thing we need to be able to do is hold a good hollow position. If we can't hold that hollow position, we're not going to be able to get that abdominal engagement to be able to get ourselves up onto the rig. So what a good hollow body is going to look like is this. My shoulders stay up off the ground. I can then raise my feet up off the ground and then take my hands overhead. So it's just as small as my back that's holding on the ground. If I'm collapsing out of that position, I'm not going to have the strength to be able to hold that on the rig. So for example, if I'm here and my shoulders are on the ground, legs are up and arms are up, it's going to do nothing. Got to make sure shoulders stay up, legs stay up, and then hands can come over. Once you can hold that for about 30 seconds, we'll be good to look at the next part, which is our V sit-up. We want to be able to hit about 7 to 10 good quality V sit-ups to make sure that we've got the hip flexor strength and the abdominal control to be able to hit our toes to bar. So we want these to look like this. I start here, I fold up, touch, control back down, touch, control, touch, and control. If we can hit that with that nice bit of control, we'll be absolutely fine to then get ourselves up onto the rig. Once we're at the point of getting onto the rig, this is where we need to think about what we're actually doing to generate power. This should come from the shoulders and the lats, not so much from the hips. So we have to make sure we've got a nice big powerful kip swing before we go any further. How this should look is when I'm up in the rig, I'm wanting to create space behind the rig by pressing down with my arm. It's not my hips that are moving. So it should look like this. When we're up here, it's a nice big press down. Okay, my legs aren't really moving. I'm not doing this, where I'm staying underneath the rig. I'm pressing myself behind the rig, using my arms to generate that power and pressing back to create a nice angle back and through into my body. From there, if we're comfortable with that, we can then start thinking about bringing in our knees to chest. Now, when we're doing our knees to chest, we don't want to tuck. We really want to think about driving those knees up to our chest, but still keeping our legs out. We're basically then doing a toes to bar, just without our toes hitting the bar. So it should look like this. So as you can see, I'm pulling my knees in tight to my chest. I'm not worried about what my feet are doing just now. My legs are staying out in front of me, but I'm just pulling my knees in as tight to my chest as I can. If you actually notice, my feet aren't that far away from the rig. What this teaches us is our ability to control our kip on the way back down, because the biggest error we see when we move to doing full toes to bar, people lose that control out the top of it. So what I'm going to show you here is the comparison between my knees to chest and then my full toes to bar. The movement pretty much stays exactly the same, but I have to have that control. As soon as I lose that, lost the toes to bar. So, knees to chest. Toes to bar. There's very little difference between the two of them. The big thing we're trying to focus on is making sure that we can snap into our Superman position and then press back down hard onto the rig. If you can get yourself to the point where you're doing 5 to 10 good knees to chest, and you can do that as consistent sets, you'll find very, very quickly your toes to bar will follow really soon after that. If you're still struggling with it, drop me a wee message at the wee gymnast doing a cartwheel, and I'll get back to you and see if we can help you out.